No, all right.
I know that sounds bad.
Every year, hundreds of thousands of people die to war and poverty. Every year, countries bicker and squabble over land, resources, culture, nuclear weapons, and so much more. And every year, we live in a more divided and factionalized world. But why? Sure, 200 years ago, a one-world state would be totally unfeasible, but today our planet is already extremely interconnected. Billions of people have access to the internet, allowing them to immediately communicate and share ideas with people across the globe. We eat food grown in other countries while watching TV shows filmed in other countries on a device manufactured in other countries. If we already live in an interconnected, unified world, then why are our politics and society still divided and factionalized? Well, there are a few common arguments leveled against the notion of a one-world state, the most notable of which is just that, simply, it's kind of unfeasible. People point out that in a one-world state, anyone in any place on Earth could travel to another, which could realistically cause widespread humanitarian disaster, as billions of people from the third world journey to more developed and rich countries like Norway or Canada. Another big reason is just that, well, a lot of people don't want to live in the same country as another. This belief really perpetuates itself throughout all of society when you really think about it. Almost every civil war and secessionist movement can essentially be boiled down to one group saying, you know, I kind of hate this group of people. I'd kind of prefer it if we never had to interact with them ever again. Another argument I see a lot is protectionism. That's the economic policy of using tariffs or other means to increase the costs of trade with outside countries. This is meant to artificially prop up industries within the economy, and you see this a lot in America, with many Americans on the right supporting Trump's tariff plan. Because if he makes the cost of buying manufacturing from Asia expensive enough, then supposedly it'll give American manufacturers an advantage, allowing them to keep their jobs. I'm gonna be honest, that last reason is pretty bad in my opinion. Like, if you know that a certain industry in a country can't compete with other countries, then maybe we should just let them be outcompeted. That sounds harsh to the people who work in that industry, but all protectionism does is move the problem and move the expenses over to the consumer, because you're essentially forcing them to pay for the exact same product, but at a higher price. Anyway, in general, yeah, a total one-world state as we understand it couldn't really work today. But I don't think that means we just have to accept the world the way it is right now. Think like a stronger United Nations. A stronger United Nations with some actual power on the world stage could solve most of our world's problems. Think about it. How many wars could have been avoided if there was just some neutral power who could mediate between both sides? It's possible Iran wouldn't have tried developing nuclear weapons if they felt that the United Nations could actually protect them from America. And even if they did, then they would just be kicked out of the United Nations, and then they'd lose access to the rest of the world. A strong United Nations could achieve real progress for humanity. They could pass laws that actually enforce human rights across the globe, and the international rule of law, as well as allowing for greater peace and cooperation between countries. The United Nations is already responsible for bringing food to 150 million people globally every year. It was crucial to eradicating smallpox, the deadliest disease in human history. We take for granted just how much the United Nations does today, so think about how much it could actually achieve if given real power. There's literally no argument against it either. A stronger United Nations wouldn't diminish your own country's sovereignty. All it would actually do is stop other countries from diminishing your country's sovereignty. So is a one-world state really possible? Probably not, but I do think something like it could be achieved, and I think it would have real benefits for humanity. Anyway, that's about it. See ya.